Hello and welcome back to another Talk and Tell production video. In today's one we're going to be looking at the TMNT, the 2003 Dreamwave issue number 5 called The Shadows of the Mind Eye. Now this one is finally an original story, but just like the TV show, it likes to take a very dark and drastic turn for the worse. And this one, it was exploring the whole idea and concept of the Turtles being found out about the humans. But unlike other versions, where it's more just, oh, they're screaming run away, or something along those kind of lines, or maybe they might be friends, this one, there's therapy involved in the shooting, so yeah, I just like how very dark when they want to create a new 2003 story. I mean, just it's so amazing. I mean, just we got Nano, that whole episode, yikes. Then we got this one, which, oh my, and then we got the Garbage Man, which, yeah, this, I thought 2003 writers definitely needed to be pulled back quite a bit, just so that they weren't traumatizing kids, shall we say. So, yeah. Okay, so with the actual story itself, it's just like I've already said, I do find it to be a pretty interesting, fascinating story with what they do tell within this issue, and I do like how it does develop the storyline throughout the whole issue, and just keeps going from worse to worse, which is just really great. But for the first bit, Ruffy's thinking oh well, I'm a ninja, I should be able to go out and nothing bad should happen, but because of who I am and all that, things do unfortunately happen, which is interesting and sad at the same time. And that is when he comes across a girl and helps her out by saving her cat, and well, the kid goes home to her mom and tells her about it, but mom doesn't believe her because of obvious reasons, and so Raph decides to show up and be like, hey, your kid wasn't lying, but accidentally knocks out the mom. And because the mom thinks that she's going crazy, they put her into a therapy or rehab kind of thing, which again is a really dark kind of place to tell for a kid's story. And there wasn't really too much to this scene, it was just kind of there, But then I just like how Raptor shows up, and it really takes a drastic turn for the worse for the therapist, because he starts executing him, which was really cool, because you don't normally get to see the Turtles get defeated quite easily, or even get electrocuted quite often. So it was a nice change, and I do like how it's just so unexpected, it's just so out there and just so random, which I just like it. But then it just takes a really drastic turn for the worse, because the therapist, he has a breakdown, and just goes on top of the roof to start shooting people, and he even has his target or sniper set on the young girl. I mean, I really wish I was making this stuff up, but unfortunately I'm not. It's just too bizarre not to say out loud. It's just what were they thinking? But Raphael does luckily save the day just in time, luckily. So there's that, I want to say. And then after that, the mum goes home to her family, and that's pretty much it for the actual main story itself. And yeah, I mean, he's still in the series, he's like, oh, well, this is bad, and maybe we shouldn't have got them. Maybe Master Splinter was right all along and all that kind of stuff. And Splinter's like, well, yeah, duh. But, it just says, you should, stick to the shadows and, know what's best and all that kind of stuff. And I would have to say that, with this episode, it was giving me, lots of different vibes for what I was feeling towards this episode. Just because, or this issue, I should say. Just because I did feel a lot of stuff between, Raph and the little girl to be along the lines of the Lone and Raph Cub episode, which again, that's a really great episode, and it just felt like a lot of kind of those kind of vibes at the beginning of the episode. But then with the whole stuff with Splinter and Raph throughout the issue, it was giving me a lot of vibes from the Unconvincing Toll Titan episode, where it was Mikey wants to do better, but then he realizes that what he does now, where he's able to stay in the shadows, he's able to do a lot of good stuff, maybe a lot more, which was pretty interesting. And I do find how they did interpret this whole situation was like really fascinating, really interesting, just because with like every character is, you know, I don't know, it's just so fascinating just because like with each character and each version of the characters, they always have like a different like opinions on the matter and how they like react and feel towards this kind of situation. And I just like how we are exploring like this version in Wrath, because I think there wasn't, to be honest, there's not really that many versions that really explore it. I mean, one that always comes to my mind is the Outshadow stuff with Mikey, and he always gets like really sad because cops don't accept him and all that kind of stuff. So I say that like there's a lot of like really fascinating stuff in this issue, which I do think would probably like be best to like reread and explore, and probably like do like a deeper analysis on this kind of stuff, because it is like really fascinating with what they do present in this issue. And even with some of the stuff which I was saying before with how dark this stuff was, yeah, my god, it's so dark. It was unexpected but great, and like I said at the beginning, I'm just so shocked that with all new stories in the 2003 universe, they went to a very dark place, and it's just so shocking and dark with how this is pretty much their only option really, which they wanted to go for, and just I'm pretty sure there was better options out there. And I feel like maybe had this story been one that was set a little bit later in the timeline, maybe even like a few more issues that had normal stories come out, then I don't think this one would be as bad. But it's just a really nice trend, I want to say. So there's that, I want to say. But you know, at the same time, I can't exactly say too much, because in the next two issues we got like gang violence and sacrificing people just because gods and hell and devils and stuff. I don't know, but it's just so bizarre that it's just, how to go from, you know, just, you know, like, and it's recreating episodes to just creating very dark stuff. It's just a nice bizarre turn of events, which yay. So yeah, and then with the art style, it was like, I don't know, because I feel like I've already said what I wanted to say about the art style, where it looks really great, where it looks like it's close enough to the show, but at the same time you can tell that it's not, but it's still really great. Colours are really great and on point, yeah. And then even with the actual like writing, I did feel more of a difference in this issue compared to the last 4 issues, where like I'd say like the biggest difference is that in those last 4 issues, we were seeing like a different perspective of the events from the episodes, and it was pretty interesting to see it from each of the characters' point of view. But seeing like how the writer is doing it for this issue, where we're doing it just a straight up narrative, where there's very little of like character talking to himself or anything along those kind of lines, it was quite fascinating to see like how a writer would do stuff in this universe, given that they're not actually part of the actual 2003 team. So I did find it to be pretty interesting that they were stick pretty much on point really. So that is pretty great. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this issue. Do you like it? Do you not? And yeah, that's it for today guys. If it doesn't, please share, let's subscribe and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.